Swallow my pride. Anytime trying to hurt myself. Now every time I look in the mirror, I practice on keeping it real till there's nothing left. You see, I done told myself, too many folks out here thinking about change. So live my life and kidnap my for teaching. To kidnap my child is so insane. So I just learned to free myself from this man's nicotine. Cause if anybody comes in here, keep me in here, y'all. You see, may as well be me. Just blame it on my integrity. Oh yeah, integrity. Welcome to Mahogany Roots. I am Jolene Diggs Massey, and I want to say thank you for joining us on today. Tea time, let's talk about it. Mahogany Roots, my truth. We are on all platforms. Facebook, Jolene Diggs Massey, live. YouTube, Tea Time with Ventarius Richards. Let's talk about it. Memphis Tea Time. Instagram, Jody Breeze, Mahogany Roots, My Truth. And we're going to talk on a few subjects, topics: healing, mental health, journaling, love, narcissistic people, trauma, life after divorce, and the core of it all. We are also going to be talking about antonyms for narcissistic people, which spells out with the word special me. I'm going to give you antonyms for each letter in special me so that we'll have a clear understanding. First, I would like to say a prayer. Father God, I want to take this time to tell you thank you. Thank you for another chance to be heard. Thank you for another chance to walk in my vision that you allowed me to share. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for forgiveness. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for overstanding. Thank you for allowing me to trust you in the process. Thank you for tight times, but you will stretch us in the midst of it. And I appreciate all that you have done. And thank you for allowing me to get confirmation on your word as it is for me to do my vision, the vision that you have blessed me with, Mahogany Roots. Thank you all for joining us today. We are excited on today. It's Wednesday, hump day, and I want to say that I'm sending a shout out to my church, Morning View Baptist Church, Pastor Claxton, Pastor Carr. Today is our Wednesday service, midweek service. And unfortunately, I'm unable to be there because I'm here doing my podcast, and I greatly appreciate my pastors because they definitely understand what it is I'm trying to do. I'm trying to walk in the authority of the vision that God has given me, and I'm asking for His grace. Yeah, I'm asking for His grace to guide me through this. Because, like I said, I'm going through this, and I have blinders on, but I know that it was given directly to me from God. So I'm gonna walk into this thing, and I'm gonna try to do as best as I can, as long as I'm being guided in His direction and making sure that I'm doing what He told me that it is that I need to do. First, I want to share that I had a pleasure to meet a young lady from a funeral that I did Saturday for Mr. Christopher Branch, and I was actually getting ready to leave, and I saw the young lady coming up. I have to turn everything down. Y'all forgive me, please. And I was getting ready to leave, and as I was getting ready to leave, the young lady, she came up and she said to me, I think her name, I know she's related to Um, she's related to some people that I grew up with in Walter Simmons, and I I learned that once I spoke with her um, after the funeral. And the homegoing service for Mr. Branch was absolutely beautiful, I must say. Everybody that was a part of his homegoing service, I mean, it was absolutely wonderful. Thank God for people that are attentive on making sure that things flow smoothly and right. For all the people that were there and was a part of his homegoing service, it was greatly done. I want to say that this young lady walked up to me at the end of the service. Now, keep in mind that I had prayed and I asked God to give me a sign that what I was doing was that was right, and that it was pleasing unto Him. And because I get kind of weary sometimes because sometimes the numbers don't add up. I think, um, and I was asking God to show me that I was on the right path when it comes to me doing this podcast to help someone that may be going through certain circumstances or situations just as I have, how to overcome those circumstances and situations. I do have my laptop with me today, y'all, so I can see all the comments. I think I can see the comments that's gonna be on YouTube. So, y'all bear with me, because I'm learning. Like I said, I'm learning. And the young lady was talking to me, and she walked up to me and she said, "You don't know me, but I know you." And I'm looking at her, and then she said, "I look at your podcast every week." And y'all, the tears, I was already full from the homegoing services, but when she came to me, just walked directly up to me, and she said to me, she said, "Don't you ever feel like what you're doing is going in vain." And it spoke so much volume to me. I'm about to tear up now. And I got chill bumps. But I told God, I said, "God, if it's what you want me to do and you want me to walk in the direction that you want me to go in, please show me a sign." And that young lady came up to me, y'all, said it, and she told me, she said, "I watch you every week. And I thank God for you because you are helping so many of us, although it may not be seen." She said, "I am one that's in the multitude." And I'm grateful because God did it so quick and so fast. I mean, it was, "Hey, Ma. Hey, Ma, Ann, Queen Ann Hines, I love you." Um, and the young lady was saying that I'm one that's in the multitude. She said, they may not say anything, but they are watching. And I'm grateful because in my mind, I was saying I wanted to give up because I felt like I wasn't reaching anyone. But that brought me so much joy on Saturday for her to stop me. And I don't know who she was. I can't remember what her name was, but she told me, she said, "I watch you every Wednesday." And I am so appreciative to everyone that tunes in and give me feedback. Let me know some things. I'm all right with corrective criticism. I'm okay with that. Let me know some things that I may need to add, things I need to do. God is setting up this platform, y'all, to reach the multitude, the millions of people that may be going through the same storm. We're going to talk about healing, mental health, journaling, love, narcissistic people, trauma, life after divorce, and the core of all of these things, the core of it all. And we're going to talk about antonyms that is with the word special me, SPECIALME, antonyms that's going to match up with narcissistic people. I'm going to read to you all what I read out of my daily motivation book on today, and it helps me, y'all, on a daily basis to kind of keep myself in a place where I need to be to hear directly what God has to say to me. And it says, I express and experience the power of trust because if I ask the right questions, I will get the information I need. If you ask the wrong question, you will not get the information you need. Nowhere is there more true in our relationships rather than asking, why doesn't he or she do this or that? It may be more beneficial to ask, what is it that I am to do? Masculine energy represents mind. Men, do you trust your ideas? Do you believe that the ideas you receive come from the divine source? Do you know that once you receive an idea, everything you need to manifest the idea is provided to you? Are you afraid to ask for what you need? Do you trust yourself with your divinity? Feminine energy represents the heart, which is women. Do you trust yourself to be a loving and capable teacher? Are you aware that everyone who comes into your life is your student? Do you know that you teach your students, you learn what you need to know? Do you know what you are? Do you know that you are beautiful? And I say that to you all every week when I end the show. Do you know that you are beautiful? Do you understand the beauty is a divine quality that you possess? Do you trust yourself with your divinity? Until we can answer these questions, we will not experience the bounty of loving families, thriving communities, and a peaceful world. Our ability to ask ourselves these questions is an act of faith. Our ability to know and act upon the answers is a function of trust. Until today, you may have had distorted ideas about your purpose and function in life and in relationships. Just for today, take the time to consider some questions that you may not have asked yourself. Today, I am devoted to asking the right questions about myself and my purpose. So that falls so in line with, I spoke to when the young lady came to me and she told me about the show, because it was a question I was asking God, Lord, am I doing the right thing, when I know I heard his voice? And he confirmed that for me instantly, quickly, without stress. He made it possible that the young lady saw me at the funeral and she walked up to me and told me that she watched the show and that I help and encourage her and women just like her and myself, because I'm you. I'm but a reflection of you. We are in this together and we're going to win. We're going to get past this mark. We're going to get over the hump. That's why I chose Wednesday Hump Day, because we're going to get over this thing. We're going to learn about it. We're going to walk through it. We're going to accept it. We're going to deal with it. We're going to acknowledge it. And we're going to work with each other. If you need me, I'm but a call away. So this word on today was so befitting for what I was actually dealing with and what I prayed to have an answer for. I want to talk about as well purpose. DC, the comedian DC that be on Wild 'N Out, now he's with the 95 South, but he spoke at Quan's funeral. And when I tell you that young man spoke some knowledge and wisdom to us from that funeral, you got to walk in it. You know, he said we don't know our day or time when we're going to leave here, when we're going to leave, how we're going to leave. We don't know that, you know. So if you all have a chance, if you didn't get a chance to look at the actual funeral, look at the funeral. Everybody has something positive to say and to speak to you as an individual, to channel through this thing called life. You know your purpose. You have to ask God, like I said, ask the questions. Ask God, write down some things that you specifically want to know about you walking with him and in the vision that he has for you, and walking in life with helping the community, helping your loved ones, helping people that may be in need of certain things, and ask for God to guide you, to give you strength to make it through. And I'm asking God that to remove me out the way, because I don't want to become selfish where I think it's only about me. And I don't want y'all to think that it's only about me, but I can only speak about the things that I've gone, the experiences that I've had in my lifetime and what I've gone through. I took a trauma test as well for myself. Um, it says thoughts, feelings, emotions, behavior were my trigger points on my trauma test. And the summary of my of my childhood trauma profile was that my level was so high. It was through the roof. It was a level of negative effects, things that affected me in my childhood that I carry on with me now, or that I was carrying on with me until I got to the point to where I was able to identify them and deal with them through counseling. I had a high level of childhood trauma. Negative effects can be led and increased by stress, missed opportunities, damaged relationships, and reduced well-being. I found out that I have an issue with abandonment, and I used to have an issue with self-confidence. And a lot of things that I would be around would actually trigger some of those things in me. Unresolved trauma. It made me an overthinker, where I would think about things too much. Y'all do understand what an overthinker is. You think so much to where you think things and they're really not actually happen, or people are really not doing certain things to a point to where it's actually your mindset. Overthinking about relationships, or things may have happened, things that didn't happen, things that may have went wrong. And that was my biggest problem, being an overthinker. Your entire mood depends on how other people respond to you. Then you get to the point to where you start thinking about things, or having thoughts in your mind about things that really trigger some things that you were actually dealing with in your childhood, that becomes a part of your adulthood, your livelihood of being an adult. Overthinkers are so in tune to other people's emotions, and can notice the slightest change when it comes to things. In tune with my discernment, because God has given me the discernment and the understanding of discernment when I'm around other people, and if their spirits does not connect with my spirit on a positive level, it triggers something in me. Overthinkers have a high expectation. They are very hard on themselves. And I find myself sometimes being that you didn't do such, so and so, or you didn't do that right, or you didn't do this right, or you could have done that better, instead of just being present in the moment and expect a lot from others. I definitely expect a lot from others. And sometimes I expect some things to be done or did like I would do it. But everybody is not like Jolene. I have to keep telling myself, and I can't take things so personal to where it affects me. Overthinkers sometimes can't sleep at night after making decisions, whether they be good decisions or bad decisions, because you're thinking about the decision that you've made, whether it's the right decision or the wrong decision. When all the time you have to just let it be what it is. Pray and ask God to give you what you need to understand the decision that you've made, or the decision that you chose to make, or choosing to make, good or bad. It doesn't matter what decision it is, or what situation it may be. To an overthinker, everyone is important. Everyone is important to them. So you know how you want to just try to save the whole world. You always want to try to see the good in people when sometimes people can't see the good in themselves. And you just that kind of person to where you always see the good in a person, although they may not be trying to do what's good by you. And you still want to give them another chance. Chance after chance after chance. I'm just that type of person. I'm a forgiving person. And I know in the Bible it says that God forgives us for things that we do on a daily basis. 70 times 7. He forgives us for what we does because he loves us that much to forgive us. He's concerned about us. He's concerned about our being. He's concerned about our well-being. He's concerned about our mental being. He's a forgiving God. No matter what you may do, how many times you may do it, every single time you do something wrong and you repent and you ask him for forgiveness, he forgives. Just remember, overthinking is not a choice. It just comes up on you sometimes, and you have to ask yourself, well, why am I overthinking about this situation or that situation? Why am I so ridden on this particular thing, and I can't move from this particular thing, overthinking that situation? Sometimes it's not healthy for you. It could cause a lot of internal things to go wrong. Stressing is not good at all. And the best cure for being an overthinker is action. So what I mean by action, when I say I ask myself certain questions or write down certain things that I feel like I need to work on, and I have to implement a plan. How can I change such, so and so? How can I change this? How can I change that to make me be at a better place when it comes to overthinking about a situation? Change and learning your own needs. To cultivate self-acceptance and self-respect. Those things I have worked on, and I'm at a point now where I'm here now, sitting with you, trying to tell you about things that I had to overcome and ways that I had to make manifest to help me get to where I am now to be able to talk about these things. You'll become your best self, and in strength and in willpower. And I find daily that I walk in strength and I walk in willpower. Again, we are on all platforms: Facebook, Jolene Diggs, Massey, Mahogany, Roots, My Truth, YouTube, Memphis Tea Time with Ventarius Richards, Let's Talk About It, Instagram, Jody Breeze, Mahogany Roots, My Truth. We're talking about healing, mental health, journaling, love, narcissistic people, trauma, life after divorce, and the core of it all, the core of all of these things. Antonyms for narcissistic people with letters from special me. S is for self-importance. P is for preoccupation with power. E is for entitlement. C can only be around people with a grand status that they feel like they, are so important. Interpersonally and personal gain. Personal gain. A is for arrogant. L is for lack of empathy. M is for must be admired and always right. And E is for envious of others or believe that others are jealous or envious of them. Narcissistic people, the antonyms of special me. So those are the antonyms that I came up with that actually were a help to me, for me to be able to understand. Protecting your heart. I am in a timeline of my highest good. These are things I have to tell myself. My deepest desires, my ultimate fulfillment. When the sun rises, I have to manifest all the things that I want. I write them down to manifest for that day. Noontime, I try to keep a balance and write down my moods and how I feel for that day, what my moods may be like, and what place am I in during that time. And at night, when the sun sets, I meditate on everything that has gone on with me through the day and what I want to actually exit out of my life. So when the sun sets, I speak things that I want to be closed in my life, things that I want to exit out of my life that no longer serves me any good purpose. I say those things so that they can be actually set down with the sun to return no more. God is my refuge. God is my shelter in a time of need, and I totally depend on him. He is resourceful. He is my resource. He is how I make it from day to day, how I live from day to day, how I'm able to supply the needs for my son when sometimes it seems like it's so hard. And at a point in time when I feel like I was just losing. Some things I may have to lose, but God said it's okay because he's going to give me double for everything that I've lost. So I keep in mind that God is the resource. He's my whole resource of why I have things that I have, a place to live, transportation, food to eat, lights, peace of mind. My mental state is all right. I'm not putting my shoe on my head. Thank God for this job that I have. Sometimes you have to start off from the bottom to get to the top. So I'm starting at the bottom now because I have to start all over again. And out of all the things that I've accomplished, I'm so grateful to be comfortable to where I am now because I'm starting at a place that I thought I never would start at. And God is helping me to grow in those areas and understand that it's not being unnoticed. It's not being unnoticed at all. And I go in with the expectation of God being a blessing to me on a day. I don't know what doors God may open in this company. I'm just saying, Lord, whatever it is that you see fit to do, I need you to do it. And line me up with the right people. Put me in line with the right people. Put me in line with the people that's going to be there for me to get me to the place to where I need to be. And I'm asking that you direct me. You direct me by all means, any way that I should go. When I decided to do the podcast, to actually step out there to do the podcast, there were some questions that I wanted to ask. And I'm going to share these questions with you all. Again, like I say, I'm learning. I'm walking into this thing because I didn't know anything about it. I need a team. I need a team that knows anything about creating things on YouTube and Instagram. And I just need a team that's going to be able to help me with doing videos and all of those things. I'm asking for help, and I'm asking for people that are like-minded and have visions such as or can learn the visions that I have, that are able and are able to assist in any kind of way that they're needed. And I told God, if I have to do this alone, with this single chair, if I have to do this alone, but he did assure me that I will soon be having guests. Again, I know that I'm supposed to be having my nephew on and Miss Alicia from the Lib. I'm supposed to be having her on. And I know that life is life and for everybody, and people have their own agendas and things going on. I'm just trying to allow them time to do the things that they need to do. And I'm just trying to get familiar with being on this platform. Tell a friend and tell another friend. Share, y'all. Please share, like, and subscribe to the pages and the and to the lives. You can also as well send comments on Facebook and as well as YouTube. I did bring my laptop today so I could see the ones on YouTube because I couldn't see the questions and stuff that was on YouTube because I only had my phone with me. So I'm better prepared today. So God said, no, today you need to take your laptop so you can see the questions on both ends. And one of the questions I had to ask was, why am I here? God, why am I here? Why do you have me in this place to where you have me being so vulnerable and being able to talk about circumstances and situations that I've gone through? And what is it that you want me to say to the women as well as men, because it's women and men that go through the same things. It's some women just like men, and some men like women, and it's just that it's something that we all have to go through to get to the point and to the place to where God really needs us to be. And sometimes through pain is the only way that you will not acknowledge the fact that you really need God. So tell me one person that every day everything is all good and you call on the Lord. I could be wrong. Now correct me if I am. But if everything is always going good and you think it's always about yourself, you'll never take the time to ask God for anything or ask God to help you through anything because you feel like you're doing it all on your own. Am I correct or am I wrong? I need some feedback from you if you could, if you would. Please send your comments on Facebook and on YouTube. I do have both platforms pulled up so I can see all questions that may be asked or either comments. The next question I ask myself is, Lord, who am I going to be talking to? Who are the people that you're going to need me to talk to? And he said the people that you're going to be talking to are the people that are just like you, that came out of a storm just like you have come out of a storm, and are at a place to where they're able to get up on a daily basis and maneuver around, to be able to move around. And the next question is, what is my assignment? And how do you want me to handle my assignment? And I tell God all the time I want to be careful about things that I say because I don't want to say things that I cannot take back. But every word that comes out of my mouth is my truth. It's things that I have experienced in life with marriage, relationships, friendships, kinships, hardships. They are all experiences that I have experienced. And I did the trauma test because I wanted to see what area I really needed to work more on. And I can truly say now that the process of going through the divorce is no longer a problem for me. I have accepted that, and I'm moving on forward to a better me when it comes to that. I'm okay with that process now. So I chose to take the trauma test because I wanted to know if that was one of the things that were still bothering me or things that I was trying to overcome from my childhood, going through certain things from childhood. Are those things still a part of what I deal with on a daily basis? And God told me that trauma through childhood has affected my adulthood. So being that it has affected my adulthood, there are a lot of things that I did not know how to handle in a proper way, with communicating about it, with dealing with it, and understanding it. So I walk through life like an open book now because everybody can be taught things. You say an old dog can be taught new tricks, but I am here to tell you that everyone can learn something new on a daily basis. I've learned that if you allow God to be exactly what you want him to be in your life, you have a choice to choose. You have a choice to choose between the right and the wrong. That's like the devil being on one side and the angel being on the other side. So you do have a choice to choose what it is or how you go about going through life and dealing with certain circumstances. I've learned that if I walk through life with a smile on my face, if I smile at you, you're gonna smile back at me, correct? So therefore, I'm walking down the road of bringing cheer, because you never know what a person may be going through, what a person may be struggling with. Um, I'm okay now at the point. There are some things that I'm going to lose that's going to be coming up, and God said you can't be embarrassed about it because He has something else for me. And my prayer is that He allows me to walk in this thing with grace. Even though these things I may lose, He said that there is some gain. And I have to always remember that the purpose of Him allowing me to have the logo of the tree is because of abundance. And the abundance is not just going to be for me. It's going to be for me being able to help young women and young girls that may be going through the same struggle or the same battle that I am overcoming. I'm walking through and overcoming at this particular time. And sometimes I be so afraid, and He has me at a place where I'm isolated. And although I feel like I'm alone and I'm by myself through things nowadays, I understand that I'm really not alone because God is really with me. He's walking with me, and He talks to me every day. He's guiding me. He's giving me the proper things that I need to move on through life, to try to get this thing right. The man said the dash, and I say this all the time. I've said it several times. There's a time when you are born. There's a dash in between that. And you know, the dash is always shown on obituaries. It gives your date of birth. It's a dash, and then it's your unlife time. It's your time when the higher calling has called you to another place, another space and time. So I just want to know, I want to make sure that my dash is exactly where God wants me to be. And with me, I don't want Him to have me to get in a place where I'm so always selfishly thinking of myself, because I want to be able to be a blessing to other people. Being that the right things to say, the right things to do, the right place to be, the right places to be, the right people to be in contact with, not just for me, but for the people, for the platform, for the team that God is going to allow to be able to help me get to the place where I need to be to share His word, and for the guidance of being able to find the correct things that I would need to do or say to the people when they're in need of the right thing to be said. I don't want Him to have me to say things that I want to say. I want Him to give me the things that He need me to say, and that's why I say He's my refuge. He's my shelter in a time of storm, even when my storm seems to be so much for me to bear. You know, I have to move Jolene out the way and allow God to be more prominent in my life. I'm walking in this thing, and I tell you all the time, I'm walking in this thing blindfolded. And as you see, it's me, and I'm here. I'm with you. I'm here for you. We're going to walk in this thing. We're going to find out some avenues. We're going to find out some ways of healing. We're going to find out some ways of getting over the hump. We're going to find out ways that's going to be best for you as an individual to make it through. And I got my Sheffield Knight shirt on. I'm representing my alma mater today, my alumni. To all my Sheffieldtonians, shout out to you. I just decided to put this on today and wear it today. You know, it don't have anything to do with the Pittsburghs, although I love the Pittsburgh Steelers, y'all. But this is my high school, Sheffield Knights. I'm grateful for the path that God has allowed me to take, being that although the path that I took and some things that I did may have been, a little rough for me, but in the end, his promises are true. In the end, his promises are true. And if God said that you can, you best believe that you can. It's already written in stone. I don't want to be like Lot's wife. I don't want to keep looking back on the things that I'm walking away from or I'm moving away from. I don't want to be where Lot's wife was. To look back and then to turn into that dust, the clay of dust. I don't want to be that person, because if it's something that he gave me and I told him that he could trust me with carrying it or walking with it to make sure that the next person gets it and understand it, then that's what I truly want to do. I truly want to be his vessel. And it may not be what I want it to be, but it's going to be what he wants it to be. And I have to trust what his process and his plan is. Tell a friend, tell some more friends, please share and like. And we were talking about topics on healing, mental health, journaling, love, narcissistic people, trauma, life after divorce, and the core of all of these things. Antonyms for special, me, things that words that were antonyms for the word special me. Special me is acronyms for narcissistic personalities or disorders. Special me. Self-importance for S. P was preoccupation with power. E is to be entitled. These are acronyms for narcissistic people. C is for can only be around people that they feel have high statuses. I is for interpersonality. Interpersonality for their own gain, selfish gain. And M is for must be admired and always right about a thing or a situation. And narcissistic people are men and women. They come in both forms. And the E is for to be envious of others or believe that others are envious or jealous of them as a person, individual, narcissistic people. And like I said, I did a test to find out what my trauma level was and where trauma really was more high level for me. And my test came back to be that mine was through childhood trauma. And childhood trauma plays a part in my adult life, my adulthood life. And I've learned and noticed that certain things, because in my marriages that I've had, when it came time for us to be able to communicate or talk, I would just immediately shut down because I just don't like dealing with arguing and fussing and fighting all the time. So to be quiet for me, to have been quiet for me was to allow them to get everything that they got to get out, and then at that point it's gonna be quiet, and you allow me my chance to talk. But it don't always end like that. It does not always end in that way or in that manner. And when I say I've learned to cope with certain situations through counseling, it has helped me to be at a place to where I'm able to communicate a whole lot better now. To be able to sit and listen and then revert back to what it is that I understood you to say during that particular time. These are avenues that I feel not only for just relationships when it comes to a man and woman, but as far as friendships, kinships, and all of that too, when it comes to family members and all that. So if it's something that's affecting me or something that I feel like is bringing harm to me, I'm able to communicate that now in a much better place and much better space than I was before. I did the counseling sessions and learning how to communicate with others. I wrote down cores. And when I say that my trauma end was having to deal with the fact of me learning that abandonment was one of my problems that I was dealing with. Abandonment and self-confidence, self-love, and to understand now as a grown person, to understand issues with abandonment because you don't, and out of relationships as a child and through relationships, those things. And I guess when I got older and grown and at a point to where abandonment was the biggest part, I accepted a lot of things because I did not want those individuals to leave me during that particular time. And now when I'm okay with people leaving, sometimes walking away and leaving could be a better process for you. And walking in that and understanding that process was better for me. So the 4 cores that I have is self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. And it asked me to write down things that I felt like I was battling with, or I felt that I was not receiving enough when I was in relationship with my husbands. And one was for me, touch. And it asked me to write down that definition or what I was expecting to seek from these words that I wrote down. Touch to me is touch me where it matters the most. Not to physically touch me, but to touch me by way of heart. Things that like I said, abandonment was an issue for me, but touch me in a way that have me to feel that I'm safe. Things that matter in the heart, from the heart. To feel, F-E-E-L. Feel every part of me, inside and out. Meaning to know me inside and out. Me as an individual. Me as a person. Me as a woman. Me as a in my feminine state. I found myself being masculine, and I didn't know how not to be masculine because all my life that's what I always had to be, because I've always had to fight for my rights, being that when I was, may have been, violated at a younger age during my childhood, to be able to understand who I truly am as an individual, to feel me and understand me inside and out, to actually know me as an individual. I'm a very caring person. I'm very empathetic to people, and I'm very sensitive when it comes to other people that may be going through things. It's just how God has made me. God has always given me a form of release through tears, and I find myself releasing tears a lot. It's a cleansing for your soul. So I feel like sometimes when I can't verbally say it, it comes out through my tears. I don't know why he made me like that, but that's just how he's made me. And I appreciate every part of me now. I accept every part of me now. Things that I need to possibly work on, things that I'm working on, things that I've overcome, things that I'm at a place where I feel like I'm able to maneuver a little bit better than what I was. Kiss, K-I-S-S. Kiss me with a great passion. There's always some good in the kiss. To caress. Caress me with your words and not your hands. Caress me with your words and not your hands. Sometimes being in a place where you may have been violated, you may have been molested or raped. Sometimes your touch can trigger certain things in people, and I've been there too. In my marriage, I've been there in my relationships. I've been to a place where it has triggered some things in me to where it did not make me feel comfortable. So to caress is for me. These are things that I wrote down, the chorus, the four chorus, some chorus that it asked me to write down, that things that I felt like I need to be better in that certain place. So to caress me is not with your words. I mean, caress me with your words and not with your hands, because sometimes your touch can be or trigger something in me that does not need to be triggered. And to love, Love. Taking a chance on moving the queen chess. So anybody that knows how to play chess, the queen is very important on the board, just as well as the king. So taking a chance on moving the queen every now and then. Do you think as women we are overly sensitive to others' feelings, and sometimes that leads to neglecting our own feelings? Yes, ma'am. And sometimes you could take on other people's feelings, and it becomes a part of you. It begins to become a part of you, and you do start to neglect your own self, your own feelings, because sometimes God can been told you, now you know you don't need to do that for such, but you, because of who you are and trying to be that person, is always trying to save people or always being sensitive to other people's feelings. You do the opposite of what he tell you. So then it's like going to the left when he tell you go to the right. I've been there on so many occasions, trying to help others, but others don't have that same when it comes to you. That's all I'm saying. And I have to keep saying it to myself. You cannot expect a you from anybody else, because nobody else could be you. You cannot expect a you from anyone else. So things that you may do, the ways that you may move, and situations that you feel like you can handle, other people may not be able. If some of the things that Jolene has gone through, it's a lot of them that wouldn't be able to fit in these shoes, wouldn't be able to walk in these shoes. They've been gave up, So I'm grateful that God has not given me the give up spirit. And although it may seem tough and hard and rough, and some things that I may have to lose, I keep saying some things I have to lose, because it's at a point to where I'm about to lose some things in it. But it's okay. It's okay, because God said He has me. He's in it with me. And I said, God, I can go through this as long as I know that you're with me. As long as I know you're by my side, it does not matter what may come my way. I just have to be at this point for right now. Be at this place to where He has me being still for right now until He shows up to show out. That's all I'm going to say. Until He show up to show out, I'm going to walk into this thing. I have to trust the fact that His promises are true. Yea, though you slay me, yet shall I trust you. So that means I got to trust you in the midst of anything that's going on, any problem. And the situation may be tight. It may be a tight situation, but understand that everything has to grow or become in a tight situation before it's able to grow. Say, for instance, you plant a seed. You plant a flower seed. So you plant that flower seed in that soil. You put that seed in that soil, and you cover that seed up with all that soil. It's a small seed when you plant it. When you plant it in the soil, which is the nourishment of it. You water it, which is another part of nourishment. You're watering it, giving it love, and you're looking at it every day, and you're trying to make sure that everything is fine. You done put everything in there. You did talk to it, sing to it, play music for it, and it's growing. You're nurturing it, and it's growing. So God gave me that analogy when it comes to my life. I'm just a seed that He's planted, and He's put soil around me. I'm at that point where I'm in that tight space right now, but He's nurturing me to grow. And once it comes through that soil and it becomes that beautiful flower or that beautiful plant that you need it to be, and you sit it, and somebody else will admire it and come by and they'll talk say how beautiful it is. So that's how I see this platform that I'm on now. It's a seed that's been planted and it's in the soil. And I need you all as my waterers to help me nourish this thing because we in this together. Every woman, every man that may be going through or find that they're at a place where it's hard times, God said it would never be all days that's easy. You will not have all good days. It would be some days where there would be trouble. A person that's born of a child, man that's born of a child, a child that's born of a woman will have days that's full of trouble. So that means every one of us that's born has been born. Your days shall be full of trouble. He didn't say all your days are going to be good, so you got to take the good with the bad. That means how you going to accept it, how you going to be able to walk through it, how you going to be able to talk through it, how you going to be able to sit in it, rest in it. You got to learn to love you in the midst of all that, no matter how the situation may look. I just want to say that me walking through this thing of trying to get me together to be a better me is not an easy road. It's not an easy road. And there are so many things that you have to work towards to get to the point to where you're healing. Healing is not a comfortable place. Healing is not a place to where you get through it easily. It's going to be some days when you going to feel like you cannot make it and you can't stop crying. You can't stop the emotions, but just understand that all of that is to form that tree that is about to bloom forward. The roots are always going to be at a place. I want my roots to stay by the river of water that flows from Jesus. I want my roots to always be continuous where God will be able to give me what I need to nurture me to help someone else. I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve people. He didn't put me here for my own selfish gain. He put me here to help, to be a testimony. My test becomes a testimony, and my testimony is there to help someone else that may be going through a storm or that same storm. And I cannot express that enough. There may be some that feel like this is not the right place for me to do it, but if he told me to do it, that's what I got to walk in and do. And understand that his way is the right way. This is why you have to be obedient to the word. And if you lose someone or something, just as with Job, he will bless you. Yes. Tenfold. Don't get discouraged. I shall not. I cannot. I shall not and I cannot. I will not get discouraged because he told me that this is what he needed me to do and this is what I'm going to do by any means necessary. However many walls or brick walls I got to knock down, however many times I got to sit on here and be as transparent as I can to allow you all to see that who I am is truly who I am. And I'm walking in this daily. Daily. And it's a step-by-step process, you know. Come along, my friend, come along. That's all I'm going to say. Come along. Come on, walk with me. Talk with me. Let's talk about it. If we talk about it, we can get over it. You know, if you talk about it, if you hold it in, it ain't going to do nothing but hold up space and problems. It's in your mind. So it's holding up space in your mind. It's holding. You can use that towards something else, learning something else to do. So I want to thank you all for coming with me on today on this journey. Today has been a wonderful day. It really has. It's been a great day. I'm grateful. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. Beautiful at all times. What is your integrity? I advise you all to take your trauma test if you're still dealing with certain circumstances and situations that you don't understand, so that you can get familiar with things that you need to know and work on. Thank you, D. I love you more. Integrity. Ain't too many folk thinking about change. I do not own the rights to this music before and after. This is the rights to my brother King Ellis. The song Integrity. When I sat and I listened to the words of this song, it really blessed me. Anybody that's gonna put me in hell or keep me at a point to where I can't move, maneuver. Needs to be gone. But what is your integrity? What's your truth? Are you going to walk in your integrity on a daily basis? What is your integrity? Thank you for joining Mahogany Roots, my truth, to walk the path. Yes. Overstanding wisdom and knowledge.